Okay, guys, I'm going to go over the warm-up with you guys. You should have done the warm-up independently, and now I'm going to work it out. So anything that you did incorrectly, it is fine. Don't erase it. I want you to keep it there, and then just write what I'm writing to correct yourself. For you to get full credit, you have to have the work you did on your own, and then go ahead and correct it so that I can see that you know the difference now. I had another video where I was working them out on the whiteboard, but I don't know how to upload it, so for now we're going to have to use this. So hopefully you can keep up with what I'm trying to do. Alright, so for number 1 you have 8n, and it tells you n equals 9. When it sets a variable to equal a number, please make sure that you always plug that variable back in with parentheses. Especially if you have, in this case, this is multiplication, you have to plug it back in with parentheses. So we're going to go ahead and do 8n equals 9 as it states. So now you have 8 times 9 equals 72 should be your answer. Okay. For number 2, you have a squared plus 3b over c minus 2d. Okay, and they tell you that a equals 3, b equals 8, c equals 2, and d equals 5. With these type of problems, you just have to make sure you're really careful with plugging it in. Make sure you put a where a is supposed to go, b where b is supposed to go, c where, and so on. And once again, always plug everything in with parentheses. So we have a squared. So a is going to be 3, as it states over here. 3 squared plus 3b, which is 8. I'm sorry, that should be an 8. Over c, which is 2. Minus 2d, which is 5. Okay? And then from here on out, just go ahead and simplify everything. So we have 3 squared. Please keep in mind that is not 3 times 2. That is 3 times 3. That is an exponent. So this is going to give you 9 plus 24 over 2 minus 10. We're still going to continue to simplify. So we're going to go ahead and do 9 plus 24 divided by 2 is 12 minus 10. And then from here on out, once you have everything simplified, you can go ahead and do order of operations. So 9 plus 2 is 21. Bring down the minus 10, and you should get 11. If you need to write this down on your sheet of paper, just go ahead and ask Mr. Chris to press pause while you write it down. If you're confused about anything, ask for it to be rewind, or you can ask him for help. For number 3, it states a squared plus b minus 16, and it gives you a equals 5 and b equals 2. Alright, once again, just go ahead and plug it in using parentheses. So we have a is set to equal 5 and b is set to equal 2. And bring everything else down. Alright, that is 5 squared, not 5 times 2, so it shouldn't be 10. 5 times 5, 25 plus 2 minus 16. 25 plus 2 is 27 minus 16. You should get 11. Okay, moving on to number 4 and 5. If anybody wants to come up to the board and work that one out, you can. It's pretty simple, so I'm going to skip those and move on to number 6. So for number 6, 5, 6x plus 3y. In this case, you just want to make sure that you understand this is distributive property. But you don't want to leave off these variables. So please always make sure that you're looking for those variables if there are any. So with distributive property, you're going to do 5 times 6x and 5 times 3y. Remember, distributive property means you are just distributing that number outside the parentheses against everything inside the parentheses, okay? So we have 5 times 6x, which is going to give us 30x. Do not forget the x. 5 times 3y is going to give us 15y. The reason I put that addition sign there is because there was an addition sign in the parentheses. Whatever sign is in the parentheses is the sign you're going to keep, okay? Now, this right here is your answer. If anybody try to add these and get some type of 45x or xy or whatever you try to create, that is not correct. The reason we cannot add these is because that 30 is attached to an x, and that 15 is attached to a y. So these are not like terms. This is a 30x. This belongs to the x family. This belongs to the y family. You cannot combine terms that have, or I'm sorry, end in different variables.